Hello and happy August. It is Tuesday, which I will make now Tarot Tuesday. And I just wanted to do our quick tarot reading for the month of August. Again, it's my typical, the spread that I made up called COA, which is C for concern, O for opportunity or obstacle, and A for aversion or advantage. And I will be picking those cards and then seeing what they have to tell us about August. And August is a very fiery month, not only because of Leo, and it's the swan song of the summer, but also because we have two solar eclipses. Well, we have a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse was yesterday. It was a partial. And we have Lionsgate, which is today, the 8th of August. And also, when we are in direct alignment with Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky of Earth. And it is 8.611 light years away, and 6 and 1 and 1 is 8. So on the 8th day of the 8th month, we are in direct alignment with a planet 8.8 light years away. And it just holds special significance. So I figured it was a good day to do tarot and get this reading. So let's see. Okay, give me a second here. I like to verify a few ways. Okay. Oh, shit. Let's see here. All right. Okay, for Koa and for the month of August, this is what the cards have to communicate with us. We start with the Three of Pentacles. Pentacles is the suit of earth. It's the suit of labor. It's the suit of foundation and finances and toiling, actual hard work. But it's also the suit of the body. I think it rules like the home, the domain. So the first home that every human has is their body, themselves. That is where they are contained. That's where their consciousness is rooted. So I also think it has to do with bodily issues, has to do with health, has to do with hearth and home, has to do with finances, foundation, labor, all the toils of the world. And we have the Three of Pentacles right side up. Don't know why that keeps going blurry. We have the Three of Pentacles right side up. And it says, the need to assimilate more skills and to cultivate deeper concentration and understanding as a foundation to developing one's talents. It's interesting because in my oracle... actually, was it even in my oracle? In something I wrote recently, I think it was my oracle reading for this month, I wrote dig in or be dug on. And so this is very much in line with that, not only because Pentacles is the earth element, but also because the need to assimilate more skills and to cultivate deeper concentration and understanding as a foundation to developing one's talents is all about, you know, sowing, like, not harvesting seeds yet. Hold on, I want to show you the card. There we go. Even that partial little lunar eclipse we have is up there. It's not about harvesting at this point. It's about, tending your garden, getting rid of weeds, focusing more intensely on what you're trying to produce, cultivating your seed, but your seed is also your creative energy, right? Birthing a child is a creative process. It is a physically creative process. We're 3D printers when we do that, but there are other ways of birthing things, and there are other types of babies, and that can be your creative projects, that can be an academic project, that can be a financial project, a familial project, a communal project, an environmental project, a travel project. Point here is we need to go in further into these works that we're working on. We're not at the birthing moment. We're still cultivating and nurturing and making sure that we are going to deliver and develop something that can live on its own, something that is completely independent when it leaves us, goes on to live its own life, goes on to affect other people in personal ways, just like an actual person would, right? No child belongs to their parent. They're just on loan until they're in charge of their own adulthood. And the same can be said of our creative projects. No project is alone until we're ready to birth it out and until it's an adult in this world. Those projects that are premature die. You know, they die early on if they ever get off the ground. But those projects that are not only cultivated but mature and given a strong foundation with which to thrive on, go on to live sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of years on their own, right? You know, the pyramids, that was a birth baby that's still around. Also, the Bible, birth baby that's still around. But also things like, I don't know, Beethoven's music, cave paintings. I mean, the list goes on. So the point here is to assimilate more skills and to cultivate deeper concentration and understanding as a foundation to developing one's talents. And again, that is our concern this month. What do we need to be doing? What do we need to be focusing on? We need to be focusing on and doing and cultivating our personal works that we wish to bring into the world, that we wish to be recognized for. We have to make a strong foundation from which our dreams may live upon. Card number 2 is our opportunities or our obstacles that stand before the concern. And we have the Four of Wands reversed. Wait, there we go. Wands is a suit of fire. It's a suit of personal development. It's the suit of aspirations. It's the suit of how we see ourselves versus how the world sees us and whether those images are reconciled or not. Wands I love actually as a suit because I think it's really about personal responsibility. It's about accountability. It's about adulting. It's about comprehension. The way that you see yourself in your own head can only be reflected in the world as a result of your efforts. You are the only person in your head. You are the only person who wakes up with you every day and goes to sleep with you every night. You are the only person in there who knows how to deliver who you are outside. And so when we deal with fire and wand issues, we deal with maybe people taking us the wrong way, people not knowing who we are, we not feeling recognized as who we are, and this is a personal responsibility card. Personal development, aspirations. For this reason, though, Wands is also the suit of feet to the fire and fire under your ass. You know, fire don't play. It's hot and it's quick. And so Wands demands of us that we be active. Four of Wands reverse says, taking things too lightly, not using caution in the light of previous difficulties. I mean, it's funny, as I'm like looking at these cards, I'm totally thinking about myself because I've been flirting with my health, right? I've said this in a few videos. Been flirting with my health, trying to sneak around myself, get away with things. And honestly, I'm just adding to a problem that's probably been developing for a really long time, right? But that can be true and is true in every sense, you know. I am one entity. This is my one body. So all behavior that I do from this entity affects every aspect of myself and my character and what I am actually able to produce in this world. Why I say that is because, you know, not taking my health as seriously as I need to be taking it takes energy away from me. Not only physically, but also in terms of my concentration, in terms of my need to attend to the issues that result as a product of me not paying proper attention to my health, right? So that takes energy that I have for my creative endeavors, for my financial endeavors, for my wellness endeavors. All these things are pulled away from because extra reserves are needed in the health department. If I am taking care of my health and therefore my health is not a distraction to me in my everyday life, then I have all that attention to give to my other projects in this world. That's true whether you are spending too much time with a romantic partner. That's true if you're spending too much time at work. Anywhere that you are putting an inordinate or oversaturated amount of attention is taking away from your attention span for everything else. So you can't like do and misbehave in one arena of your life and not expect that to have crossover into the other aspects of your life. You are one entity. Everything that you do is working from your one self. And for that reason, everything that you do that undermines you undermines everything that you're working for. So it's just about taking yourself seriously. And by that, it don't really mean like without humor. I mean, understanding that your existence is a matter of import. And also in your life, unless you have children, which I can't really speak on because I don't, but I assume unless you have children, you are the utmost important entity in your life. That's even true if you have children. If you're a wreck and you have no attention span and you have no energy for the children, what good are you to them? You need to take care of yourself as well, right? So the seriousness is in the recognition of the responsibility and the importance of your role here, which is to be yourself. But the humor that isn't lost is like, this is not to be a joyless endeavor. This is an opportunity to be more of yourself, to be more of what you want of yourself, to be more for the world, right? And that is a joyous thing. That is something to be very grateful for. Like, you of all the sperm that were swimming towards that egg made it into this life. And so, you know, you got to use what you earned. Taking things too lightly, not using caution in light of previous difficulties. And again, I'll just mention sneaking around yourself. Trickster energy is really strong right now. I think a lot of people are going to be fooling themselves into thinking that they're doing one thing when they're actually doing another, or that they have changed their behavior and actually what they're doing now is different, even though it's just 2.0 or 2.5.0 of what they were doing before. I think it's really important at this time to not only slightly change your behavior, but to just change course, like to try the exact opposite thing of what hasn't been working in an effort to see, you know, what you can learn from that particular cultivation. Because I was saying this to a friend recently, and I wrote it too as well into my Oracle write-up, which is, if you're going to dedicate 10 years of your life to behavior that doesn't serve you, even when you didn't know that, even maybe if it started serving you but very quickly stopped serving you, if you've dedicated even a year of your life, 10 years of your life to this behavior. Oh, my friend's home. 1 second. Marpessa? Marpessa? Yeah. Are you? Oh, okay. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm fine. It is. Okay, well, I don't remember what I was talking about, but I'm pretty sure I finished that card. So, card number 3 is the aversion or advantage after our concern and after our opportunity and obstacle. And what we have is the World card right side up. The World card is a major arcana card. That means it has to do with the life path, spiritual purpose. What am I doing here? What is my purpose in life? And for that reason, major arcana cards have both a symbolic meaning assigned to the card and a meaning assigned to the actual card, the World. So the World is symbolically pulled for healing, pulling things together both within oneself and in one's outer circumstances. And right side up, it says to unite, to join together, to encompass the whole, supreme feeling of union, healing, and success. I will show you the card. This is the World. What is this? This is our advantage or our aversion, right? So we start with the need to assimilate, to put more energy into our projects, into our personal wishes and wants, to give the universe clear direction about what we want in this life from ourselves and from others, and to double down, put our money where our mouth is, to put our act where our wishes are, and to make that manifest in the real world. That's why it's Pentacles, that's why it's Earth. Then we jump to Fire Wands, personal development, how we see ourselves versus how the world sees us, whether those images are reconciled, whether we are accountable to do more to be recognized in the world the way that we wish to be seen, rather than just being resentful for the fact that people don't know who we are. And what do we get from the advantages of that? It says, well, we're taking things too lightly. We're not using caution in light of previous difficulties. So that's encouraging us to take more accountability, to take more responsibility, to take account of all those aspects where we are having energy leakages so that we can make sure that we are a cohesive unit. And that's why we arrive at the advantage of those two prior actions, is to unite, to join together, to encompass the whole, supreme feeling of union, healing, and success. As I discussed in my last Word Nerd Wednesday, the word whole, the meaning whole, is ascribed to a Proto-Indo-European word, kylo, which came to be the root of the words heal and health. So we know that this is a healing journey also because Comfrey, the World card, is symbolically called for healing, pulling things together both within and one's outer circumstances. So that's taking account within and without. That's being accountable for who's in your space, but also who you are in your own space. Oftentimes we are the first people to stand in our own way, the first people to lose faith in ourselves, the first people to sabotage our own aims. So it's also not just about pointing the finger and looking out and being accusatory to other people who may not be good influences, but being accountable in your life for the fact that those are the influences that you choose to have around you or that you accept to have around you, and to change your world, right? It is the world card. Every person is a world. Everybody is a world that is accountable to give everybody else the information about that world. The last thing I'll say is, I write epic high fantasy. High fantasy means it takes place in another world, a la Lord of the Rings. Low fantasy means it takes place in our current universe, such as Harry Potter. So writing in high fantasy, a really important aspect of making the story believable is to have a very developed world. I have to have laws of nature. I have to have laws, social laws. I have to have historical accuracy. I have to have characters who are believable because they are not two-dimensional. I have to take account of all these things. And so if you have to do that in storytelling to make a realistic story, which is to bring something that relates to life as it is, then that is only a reflection of how each person is accountable to themselves, as far as I'm concerned. To write a good character, I have to be of good character. To understand someone in order to write a fully embodied character, I need to understand what that looks like in the real world. And so just remember that you are a world, accountable for your own health, your own unity, your own healing. And that's why we have the wands, the suit of action, telling you that there's more to do in terms of communicating who you are to yourself, not only to the world, but to you, because once it's clear to you, it will be clear to everybody else. And then we started with pentacles, which is earth, which is make sure that your foundation is strong. And as I said in the beginning, your number one foundation in a life where your consciousness is rooted in the human body is your actual self. So that's the August reading. I hope you found that helpful, and I will see you again in September for that reading. Happy full moon, partial lunar eclipse, happy Lion's Gate today, and happy solar eclipse at the end of the month. Happy Leo's month, and take care of you and your environment, and everything else will follow. Okay, bye-bye.